Hello subscribers, non-subscribers, welcome back to IL-2 Sturmovik 6. We are flying out still as a United States Army Air Force bomber piloting out a B-25 during D-Day. And so hopefully this time I'll actually remember to make sure that I have autopilot turned off in time so that I can actually go and fly, or actually drop the bombs myself. Now, I already basically went over this at the end of last episode, so I'll just go over it quickly. Our objective is to go and bomb a supply column that is down here near Argentan, near the Argentan airfield, I think it was. Yeah, the Argentan airfield. We will win this entire campaign once we have secured essentially this grid point. Once we have basically secured this grid point, we can say that we were successful and we have won the campaign, and I will pose the question to you guys as to whether or not you would like for me to essentially take this character and have it generate a new campaign as him flying a bomber over France in 1944, which is essentially the after D-Day France, I would imagine. But that's going to be left up to you guys once I have finished this campaign, and when I say that, I mean basically once I have presumably win, because honestly I think as a bomber I'm less likely to get shot down, so it shouldn't be as big of an issue. But honestly, we'll see. But nonetheless, so we are still a flight officer. Well, we are the wingman to a first lieutenant. His name is Kenneth Braun. Our major is Stefan Galt, which is an interesting name, but okay. Let's go ahead and fly out the mission. Okie-dokie. There we go. Oh my god. Seriously? Okie dokie. What the hell happened here? Really? Why did that happen? All my buttons have apparently been switched up, which is going to be an annoyance in all honesty. So now I have to go back through here, so one moment. Okay, I think I've corrected them. Yeah, looks like it. Let's go ahead and start our engines. I have no idea why my controls changed the way they did, to where they were no longer listed as, I think it was ID5, and now they're just listed as their default controls, which is kind of an annoyance, honestly. But like I said, I have no idea why that was. So this is what we will have to do. So let's see, take off flaps, and we wait our turn. Of course, that also means fast forward, because I don't want to sit here for an hour waiting for these guys to take off.
Good to see you guys. So glad you decided to join us. Over. Heading to
Wait, start throttling up a bit. Wait, do I have this? Oh my god, okay. Do we have those freaking chalks or something in on these? I think we might. Let me go and assign something to them if I don't already have one, and I don't appear to, so I'll go and assign that to it. Yes, we do actually have chalks. That would explain why. And apparently we failed our primary target. I don't know what that is, but apparently we failed it nonetheless.
Heading 180, altitude 05. What the hell? Stay with your leader. Stay on course.
Okay, keep on controlling the plane manually for now.
Heading 270, altitude 05.
I need to turn not to follow where he is, but generally speaking where he will be. Okay, I'll let autopilot take over now. Pull up the map. Let's see, we're basically going to circle around a couple times, but sooner or later we'll start making our way down there to an area that has a lot of flak around it. I'm not exactly a fan of that personally, so we'll have to do something about that. Hopefully we don't end up actually needing to strafe them like we did last time. Because with all that flak there, I'd rather not get down low. And if we do decide to start strafing them, I'm probably going to go and turn autopilot off if I'm in that, well, I probably will have autopilot on at some point in that area. Nonetheless, if we end up deciding to go and strafe it, I'm going to go and take control and just sort of stay up high, more than likely, because I'd rather not get shot down. Especially to flak, which obviously the lower I am to the ground, the more likely I am to get shot down, so I would prefer to keep myself as high up as possible. Okay, where are 3 and 4? Oh, there they are, 3 and 2, excuse me. I forgot, I'm 4, but for whatever reason, I'm pretty much always flying wingman to number 1, because for some reason 2 and 3 can never seem to get in here. Realistically speaking, I should be down there where 2 is, and 2 should be up here where I am. But no, 2 can't go and actually make sure that he's where he's supposed to be. He goes where he wants to be. So, yeah, well, and then we've got our P-47s up there. And I'm probably going to either straight up cut out pretty much the flying down there part in post, or at least a good chunk of it. Obviously, if I get into some action, I'll probably go and keep that section in, but basically once the action's done, I'll cut it again. Or I'll just fast forward. I'm not quite sure. We'll figure that out depending on how long it is. I'll probably go and try to fast forward first, and if it's still too long, like way over 30 minutes, like, because say if it's 40 plus minutes even after fast forwarding, I'm probably going to go and just straight up cut out sections, like maybe this as well. We'll see, because it's kind of annoying. Let's go 8 times speed. Hopefully we actually start finally heading down there.
Heading 030, altitude 55.
And looks like there's some planes flying down there that are enemies, so we may end up with a bit of action once we're down there.
Heading 120.
We'll see if we get into any on the way, though.
Heading 0. Altitude 50.
And considering the flight path we're taking and those guys, I see the potential for us to get into a bit of a fight with them.
Altitude 50.
But I don't think, yeah, it looks like it's not going to actually happen.
Heading 150. Altitude 50. Heading 150. Altitude 45.
If those guys keep flying in the straight line that they are, relative straight line, we'll probably get into a fight with them. Oh, and they're turning off.
Heading
Sort of, so maybe not.
Altitude 50. Attention, fighters, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but they don't appear to have spotted us, so we're just going to keep on flying down as though nothing's happened.
50. Heading 330. Altitude 50. Attention, bombers, 4 o'clock low. Heading 150. Altitude 45. Attention, bombers, get ahead.
I really wish I didn't have to hear all the other guys talking about fighters and bombers that they've spotted. Wish my guys were on their own channel. Well, if we don't get into a fight with these guys, all we're going to be doing is bombing.
Number 4, return to base. Bail out. This is 4. I'm taking hit. This is 3. He's going down. 50. Heading 060.
Well, sounds like that 4 got absolutely wrecked.
Altitude 50. Attention.
Okay,
Approaching target.
yeah, these guys are
5 minutes.
turning back in, so we're probably going to get into a fight with them in some fashion.
Heading
So not only will I have to bomb, I'll have to deal with these guys and hope that my gunners are good enough. If not, I may have to fly back limping, which I'd prefer not to do if at all
1
possible.
minute to target.
Or our P-47s will do a damn good job and deal with these guys. But it depends on really what they are, because
180. Altitude
P-47s are not the
50.
greatest planes. In fact, I'm kind of surprised we don't have P-51s. But that's pretty much whatever. But like I said, I am kind of surprised that it's P-47s rather than P-51s. Because that would have made more sense. So, let's see, I'm gonna have to turn off. Well, let's go ahead and get ourselves in position first. So, Bombardier sight. Okay, we are at normal speed. I might actually half speed it, potentially. Or something like that when I go to actually bomb.
Heading 240. Altitude 05. Attention, beginning our attack run. Armor, commence the attack. This is 2. Copy, attacking. This is 3. Copy, attacking now.
I don't like how my sight appears to have screwed up, sort of.
This is 3.
Because now I don't know where the hell the bombs are.
Bombs away. This is 1. Bombs away.
Yeah, I don't
Heading
see
090. Altitude
where.
50.
Well, I don't know where my bombs are going because my sight appears to have decided to give up on being functional, so I'm just kind of dropping them wherever.
Heading 120. Altitude 50. What the hell? Stay with your leader.
Not my fault.
Great shot. Target destroyed. God damn. Stay with your leader.
Well, I don't think that was me. I think that was someone else, although it may have been me. Like I said, I don't think it was. see, where are those fighters? Okay, they're way the hell up there. Yeah, I got no idea where my bombs landed because my sight decided to screw up. As you can clearly see, it did that, which is not something it's really supposed to do. So that happened. Got no idea why it did that. You know, I should probably look into going and turning off, well, or setting a button for closing that. So one second, let me go and do that. I know there's something in here for open and close bomb bay doors, but I don't know where it is. Here we go, open and close bomb bay doors. Set that to, no, okay. Set it to that. And actually, I'm curious. Nope, okay, that's still screwed up like that. Okie dokie. So what are we gonna do, guys? Are we just gonna go down there and strafe them now because we didn't really kill anything? And it looks like that's what we're gonna do. I'd rather not, but gotta make up for a fairly shitty bombing run, so I guess I'll go down there and help you guys. But I will try to avoid getting myself destroyed by the amount of flak down there. I'm not sure if I see them, but I do see something down there, but that could just be all the flak. I think that is all the flak, though. Oh, no, damn it, I'm trying to look over there so you guys can hopefully kind of see it. Yeah, that looks like that's the flak. Where are the actual trucks? That's our objective, is the trucks. I don't give a crap about the flak, although obviously shooting out the flak will make it easier to deal with the trucks because I won't have to be getting shot at by them. So maybe I should deal with the flak first, just so that I can ignore them. Oh yeah, and these guys have a dirt runway, which I'm not a fan of personally. I absolutely hate dirt runways. Okay. Oh god. Okay, never mind. We're out of here. We got a fuel leak. I was trying to go and get an actual look at those things back there. Yep, we're out of here. I don't believe there's any way to really go and say that, yeah, I'm returning to base or anything. I mean, I could say aborting mission, but that's not really what I'm doing per se. Yeah, we're just gonna go and request vector to home base. Or not, because apparently they're not gonna tell us.
I got him. He's on fire.
Yep. Well, like I said, we're gonna go and return to base, so let's try to gain some altitude. Because we're gonna be going pretty far, and I would like to have some altitude. Let's try to get ourselves in a position where we're still gaining speed while climbing. Okay, here we go. This seems to be roughly where we need to be to gain speed while climbing. At least I think we're gaining speed.
Heading 090. Altitude
We'll find out because it's...
50.
Yep, we are, but it's very slow. Which I am fine
Target on
with.
fire. Direct hit.
Yeah, they told me to return to base, so I'm just going to go ahead and return to base. I'm not going to go and get myself killed. over some freaking trucks. My guys could deal with that. I'm sure they can. I've gotta turn to actually head towards the base now. There we go. Gotta get my nose in just the right position so that I can gain speed and altitude, although mostly altitude. There we go, that seems to be roughly fine.
Number 1, return to base immediately. I'll take it in. Heading 330. Altitude 45.
Can't quite keep going straight because, well, it's kind of a pain to do that. Let's see. I think I'm probably going to want to be sitting at about 1,500-ish meters to be relatively safe. Not actually sure what the range is on the enemy flak, but like I said, I think about 1,500 meters will be relatively safe from most threats, except maybe aircraft. Aircraft will be a threat still at that, but I think that'll avoid much of the flak. Although I don't have really any enemy aircraft on my route, it seems, so I will more than likely have to rely mostly on avoiding the flak. Which, like I said, I think so long as I am flying at about 1,500 meters, I will be fine. Of course, fuel leak means absolutely nothing since I do still have unlimited fuel turned on, so it doesn't really matter that I have a fuel leak. But I would still prefer to avoid getting myself killed. And considering I have a giant hole in my left wing, yeah, I'd rather not. And that's also kind of bumping my plane off to the side. So once we're at about 1,500 meters, I'll probably go and start flying more in a straight line than anything else. And just try to focus on picking up speed, essentially.
Heading 120. Altitude.
Hopefully I will be able to get outside of the radius that these planes are patrolling in. And I do want to say, I think the reason why the game said that we failed our primary objective at the very beginning was probably because we were supposed to stop those vehicles from making it to their destination being the Argentan airfield, probably. And thus, because we weren't able to take off and get there before they arrived at a location in which they were already basically at, we were pretty much doomed to fail the mission, whether we tried or not. But that's just my guess. I don't actually know. But nonetheless, the game did say, for some reason, primary objective failed right there at the beginning before I could even take off. And I think it's just because we were supposed to stop those vehicles from getting to the Argentan airfield, but they were basically already at the Argentan airfield, so it really didn't matter what we did. They were going to basically get those supplies whether we had taken off and quickly or not, because it would have still taken far too long to get down there. Even if I got off the ground, I wouldn't be able to stop them. At least not completely. I would probably still fail while I was on my way. You know, I'm probably going to go and turn off to the right a little bit and sort of follow the path that we followed down rather than the path that we're supposed to take back, simply to avoid much of the flak. In fact, you know what, I am going to do that.
030, altitude 50.
So let's go ahead and turn off to that side, off to our right. And I think I basically will have to fly this back manually, because I think the game's, even if I turn on autopilot, oops, didn't mean to shoot, it'll probably try to still continue to fly me down there to complete the actual objective we were given. But that's just not going to really work out, so I'm going to be needing to fly manually in the meantime. Let's go ahead and get ourselves off to the right here, and then we'll turn back to the left, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid getting shot at by anything, whether it's flak or other planes, and go and land back at base safely, as if basically nothing happened. Except maybe we'll be lucky and we'll still go and gain some land. Okay, now we turn off to the left again and continue basically flying in a straight line.
Heading 300, altitude 50.
Yeah, I think what it tells me the height, it's telling it to me in meters, and then in parentheses it gives it to me in something else. I'm not quite sure what. I don't believe that it is feet. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but it does give it to me in parentheses, I know. And I think it's in feet first. Or in meters first, excuse me. Because the guy said 50, and last I saw of them, they were flying relatively low. I would say they were probably flying at about 50 meters off the ground. I'm not quite sure what it is giving to me in the parentheses. Okay, we should be fine to avoid those planes. Let's go ahead and full throttle. And just sort of try to power through this. I think once we have hit the beach, I will probably start decreasing my altitude. But we're going to have to hit the beach first. Essentially, once we're out to the open sea, I'll decrease altitude. That I'll hopefully manage to decrease enough to where I'll be able to just easily go in for landing. But we shall see. And I think I'm going to fast forward or cut out much of this, because nothing really happens here. As we can clearly see, I'm not getting shot at. There really is no threat, since I do still have, like I said, unlimited fuel turned on. So there's really no threat here. There's no like, I gotta make sure I get back to base before I run out of fuel. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to go and ditch my plane out in the middle of the sea. Well, we don't have that actual issue, although if our engine overheats, we will have an issue. Because if our engine overheats, it'll start to die on us, and once it dies on us, we're pretty much screwed. So somebody said something about enemy aircraft essentially at 11 o'clock, which is roughly where I'm trying to look, but since I can't just go ahead and look straight there without using my mouse. That is roughly 11 o'clock-ish. You can also tell because that's sort of where all our gunners are looking towards. Or at least those that can. They're all looking sort of to the best of their ability to the 11 o'clock.
Heading 030. Altitude 50.
Okay, we're almost to safety. Oh, don't do that. Although that is our island, so it's about time to start decreasing altitude. Let's throttle back, because I'd rather try to minimize the amount of speed that I pick up. So let's go to, I guess, about 50% power. That'll hopefully minimize how much speed we pick up.
This is 1. Request permission to land.
Yeah, that's not R1, that is a different one.
Heading 0. Altitude 50. This is 2. On final approach. Requesting permission. This is 3. Requesting permission to land, sir.
Okay.
Ready. You are clear for landing.
It seems to be taking them a while to go and respond to people, letting them know whether or not they're clear to land.
Go around. Go around. This is 2. All right.
Now we can sort of throttle up, but we gotta try to keep ourselves flying in a relative straight line and at a level altitude.
3. I'm going around. Heading 0. Altitude 01.
There we go. Turn our stabilizer on. That'll help. That'll, so long as it doesn't get shut off, basically keep our plane from gaining any altitude or losing any altitude. Which I think will be fine in this case. I just gotta remember to turn it off before trying to land. Otherwise, it's gonna be a bit difficult to land.
Number 3. Return to base immediately.
And 75% throttle, I think, is usually enough to keep any plane in the air. Although I could be wrong because I have not bothered really testing that. And it looks like we are still, to a degree, losing altitude. Although I think that's because of our lack of speed. So let's go ahead and throttle up to 100% and see if we still seem to lose altitude. And we are. So I think our stabilizer is not working at, well, essentially proper efficiency. Although it probably doesn't help that we have a giant hole in our left wing that I noted earlier. That's probably one of the things that's really stopping it from doing a good job. Try to keep ourselves about 100 meters. That'll keep us, for the most part, from smacking into the ocean surface. We still gotta manually do this. It helps to try to do it in the third person, since then I actually know better how I am in comparison to the ground.
Final approach. Requesting permission. This is 3.
Still too far away to really bother requesting permission to land. And I think I'm going to try to land in the same fashion, or at least similar fashion to how I did it in the last mission. Because I think that'll work best for me.
Tower, all right. Red 3. Tower, 1 knot. Abort. This is 3. I'm going around.
And I might force a landing as well. But we'll see. Let's go and gain some altitude. We're a bit too low for my tastes. turn the stabilizer back on for a little bit. Engine's overheating, so let's throttle down. And we'll essentially fly out to about this dot out here. And then we'll request permission to land and start turning in. And hopefully we will get permission to land. Although I could theoretically request it now and try to land from this direction. Although I don't think that's going to work out well for me if I do. Turn our stabilizer off again. He's not doing the best job ever. In fact, I think I could probably request permission to land now. I think it would be a pretty bad approach, but I could probably do it. But because it's a bad approach and I don't really have to wait, or I'm not in any real rush to land, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go ahead and continue flying out towards this dot. Now I will go ahead and request permission to land. Okie dokie, we are cleared for landing. Throttle up 110%. Okay, we do have P-51s, but they're just not escorting us. Watch out, guys. Got a Vulcan Behemoth over here. One of the biggest planes you can fly in this game. Okie dokie. And hopefully I don't kill my flaps like I did last time. So, landing flaps. No, no, don't give him permission to land while I'm trying to. Please. Don't do anything, you damn flaps. Oh, bit of a bumpy. A little bit bumpy. Oh, don't do that. Oh god. That could have been better. Kind of lost most of our flaps. Oh, you guys are going to have a hard time landing here. You better actually stop. Because I've taken up a good chunk of the runway. Oh, good. I think he is going to stop. Yeah, you guys are kind of screwed trying to land since they're going to have to clear out my wreckage of a plane before you can land. Just curious as to how good that P-51's going to do. See, he is slowing down. My issue was that my frickin' brakes sort of screwed me up because they were knocking me off to the sides. It's not my fault I got shitty brakes. And I tried to correct, and I think somewhat I overcorrected, but nonetheless, I'm not a fan of brakes that take me off to the side. But that is that. So, oh, somebody got captured. Oh, Lieutenant Braun. First Lieutenant Braun. Yeah, some kills and whatnot. Vehicles destroyed. We got nothing. But hey, we survived. That is one of the more important things, honestly, is that we survived. So let's see. Other news. An Axis truck convoy was destroyed near Argentine airfield. Even though they were actually, I think, at the airfield. But nonetheless. A B-25J1 was shot down. Not sure if... Well, it says in other news, so I don't think that was mine. Although it could be considering mine shot down, because I don't actually see any other B-25s that are not a part of ours. Oh. And Major Galt got shot down, apparently. Really? Well, he's probably dead, because it doesn't even say he was captured. So, he probably went down with his B-25. But yeah, I don't see any other B-25, so it might be considering mine to be a crashed B-25. Because I don't see any other ones. I don't see any that just say like B-25 shot down or B-25 crashed or anything anywhere. So a bit confused by that. And a P-47 was damaged beyond repair. Let's go ahead and apply this and see how the battlefield changes. Okay, I don't think it really changed much, and it looks like they're sending us to where we were before. Which, not really a fan of, but oh well, we're gonna have to do that. And, Major Stefan Galt actually managed to survive, apparently. He somehow made it back to base, despite the fact that it said he was shot down. So unless we have two people of the same name, I'm kind of confused by that, because it says he was shot down way back here. That's behind enemy lines. It never said he bailed out, and so I have a hard time believing that he is around still. So I don't know what the game's trying to tell me there, that he has some sort of teleportation technology, and despite not having bailed out, somehow survived the initial crash of his B-25 and pressed a button on his belt buckle or something that teleported him straight back to base. I've got no freaking clue as to what the hell's going on there. And I don't think the battlefield really changed much. Well, actually, no. I think this grew. I think this area was like going sort of along the way that my mouse is. Sort of along the road here, actually, more or less. Maybe a little bit past it. But now it's out to here. So I think that grew a bit, but I think that's pretty much the only area that actually expanded. I think the rest of the map has stayed the same. But we're not going to be flying out this mission right now. That will be next time. But as always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye and take care.